introduces a whole bunch of diseases. Because it's all bacteria. And bacteria, just like you like warm places. When you're a baby, the embryo has to be a certain temperature in order for the baby to be able to properly grow, right? It's the same thing for these bacteria. And when your body starts to become an environment that's good for them, sufficient for them to grow, what do you think they're going to do? They're going to grow. They're going to start getting sick. The same way with chickens and eggs. When they lay their eggs, they got to sit on the eggs for how many days? I believe it's almost a month. All right? Because they heat. They'll get up and then they'll come back. They'll get up and then they'll come back. And in the process of time, the yolk becomes an actual chicken. You know? And then you see them hatch, I think 28 days old, almost a month. You know? And they sit on the eggs, they have this perfect temperature for it. So even nature shows you just how amazing the Lord is. Like, damn, Lord, you actually thought about all these things? You know?
Adding to your point, mosquitoes do the same thing. Mosquitoes go to dirty waters, so they're gonna go to whatever environment they can flourish in. Disease is gonna flourish in an environment that's acidic, and that's just like the king disease.
Damn mosquitoes. I don't know the purpose of mosquitoes. I don't know. And freaking fruit flies and shit. They just fly around and annoy you. Hey.
Housefly.
Yeah, house flies. They don't belong in the house.
Diseases.
Huh?
They said to put mosquitoes kill diseases. Oh, really? Somehow blood they took. It was something. I did hear. I know it's something with diseases.
I mean, the Lord created for you.
Yeah.
But then you can bring that. But then Esau takes the other 9%. You know, he takes. But that's why he's the man of sin. He takes everything from the right hand and turns it left. He takes good. First off, this land, America, was a fruitful land. You know, it was beautiful. Solomon used to send, Hiram, the rest of the Navy, which Hiram, I believe Hiram was a Phoenician, right? And they were seafaring people. So it only makes sense that you made the captain over that to come over to grab the he used to work with David. Yeah. He's like, just like how you do with my father, you're going to do with me too. You know? And it's crazy, like, you make a point. It just left me from that. But yeah, I was going to Oh, it's not. It just came. And even these devils actually already said it. You were saying something about how Esau takes the nature, the right hand side of the Lord, and then turns it to the left. That's it. Now, what's his name? Harari. He came out and said, he said what their next goal is to what? Is to take organic and make it inorganic. So they basically want to take life and then present death as life. That's Esau right there for you, man. And you're going to fail at that. Because life isn't programmed to die. It tells you in the book of Wisdom of Solomon, I believe the 1st or 2nd chapter, that the Most High created life to keep on going. He doesn't take pride or happiness in death like that, man. And Esau is all about death, the wicked. Oh, God, the scripture says he's not the God of the living. Right, exactly, yeah. You know? And Esau is the God of the death, man, of the dead. All right? In China, just recently, they successfully, they created what do they call them, chimera. Yeah, it's with a monkey and a human. They injected human stem cells into the monkey embryo, and they saw it replicated all of those things. And they said, this is not about creating monsters or whatnot. It's about getting to a point where we can create excuse me. Yeah, it's about getting to a point where they could create be able to make transplants, so these animals can grow those organs for humans. But that's completely out of order, That's okay, you can bring that up.
This is Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 5. Yea, also because he transgressed by wine, he is a proud man. Neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, like the brother was saying, meaning the grave, that this man is all about death. And is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people.
And they kill people through what? Mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. All right, Esau cannot be successful if everybody's alive. Can't go to think without being wicked. Exactly. So his job is, in order for me to thrive and be successful, people got to be in the mindset of death. That's why everything in America it promotes death. It does things that's going to lead to death. The food that you eat, like we mentioned, the philosophy, the mindset, the way people even think. You got people now saying that,
God created all things, so he can do all things. Trying to use the scriptures to justify wickedness. How do you do that? How do you do that? You see? Everything is about the pharmaceuticals. Do you know how much money these people make? Billions. Billions of dollars off of people's death. You see what happened over the past 2 years? Now that people, countries, and all these heads are finally waking up and connecting the dots, like, so what a mystery. All of a sudden, people just dropping dead, and that's a mystery. You know? They can't connect the dots. Coming up with different theories and shit. You know? But ultimately, you're going to start seeing more deaths, and then at that point, it's like, oh, okay, now what? And then they're going to take to the hills, they're going to be in their bunkers and shit, and all hell going to break loose, and then they're going to bring in the troops, man.
It shows you that so now when you keep short of 100, they had the mountain people. And they like, nobody thought like they survived the whole shit, but they actually survived that shit. And they had like scientists in there, and like they were doing experiments on people and shit like that. They should have. And it was like, what, a nuclear explosion that basically ended the world back then. Did you see all of it?
No.
Bro, they went to a different planet. One of them like became gods. Like, yo, shit was crazy.
Yeah. I gotta get on that. Hey, it reminds me of that other movie that Will Smith and the Son was in. I think it was called After Earth, where in that movie as well, the Earth was like messed up or whatnot. That he sent his son to go.
What was that life? Life after Earth?
After Earth. Like, he sent him they were like creatures that kind of bigger and all type of shit in there. But it always shows you that they mess up the planet and then they escape up into space. And then sometime later they want to come back down and they can take Africa. Yeah, that's another one. You know? And then they promote that the scriptures talk about that, right? And they try to make their nest in the heavens. That's where the Lord bring their asses down. Which is really talking about them satellites and the rockets they were doing. But they still got them space stations that they're going to try to go up in there too. But the Lord's going to find their asses wherever they go. He's going to meet them. Yeah, he's going to meet them. You know? And then he's going to pulverize them. That's it. You got it, bro. So it's going to be an interesting day when Yahawashi comes back. And we're going to see, right now we see Yahawashi through the scriptures, but we're going to see him in action. You know, we're going to see his personality, we're going to see his demeanor, we're going to see his face, we're going to see all of that. The way he thinks in real time, you know, we're going to see his actual self. Because when he was leaving 2,000 years ago, he looked different when he comes back. That's why John, in the book of, was it 1st or 2nd John, when he said, 1st John, when he said, we don't know what he's going to look like, but we're going to be like him when he comes back. So that means we're going to get those glorious bodies, because the scriptures tell you, in Matthew 24, that he's coming with power and great glory. Right? He also said, well, I'm going to meet you as a man. So what is he? Who is this? You know? What's that? Was that Isaiah who asked, who is he that cometh from Edom with thy garments from Bozrah? You know? So it's like, oh shit, like, what is this entity that's entering into our space here? And what is this new energy? Like, what's happening? The whole earth is shaking. The vibration is different. This is a complete, what is this? And that's what we're going to see. Power versus power. Esau, where you at? Where you at?
In the scripture, they said the whole earth will because of it.
Yep.
Like imagine one person's appearance makes everybody just that afraid. That's like
in the Avengers, before Thanos came, this guy Tony Stark kept having visions of him and and it was literally an invasion with like different space creatures and shit. And when Thanos finally came, the whole world knew what was about to happen. I mean, just going like that. First off, Thanos without the gauntlet is dangerous. So him with the gauntlet with that power, everybody, the whole planet feared. Because just like that, and his mindset was, he got to cut down the people for a better life. He was saying, look, he was even trying to convince his daughter about it, but she was too worldly. So I'm sorry, little one, he threw her off. And that's why the Lord going to say that to you, because he has no pleasure necessarily in the destruction of the wicked, and he left them no choice. So he's going to have to go the last one. I'm trying to speak for purpose. So it's not negotiable. It's coming with a purpose, man. If somebody's coming with a purpose, it's only a matter of time. You know, he's going like, all right, I came here, at this time I'm going to do this, at this time I'm going to do this, at this time I'm going to do that. So he's coming, and this time is the time for what? The destruction of this place and the deliverance to be left. You see? So that's a purpose that's going to be handed. As soon as he gets back, within 1 hour, this thing's going to be done. We're telling you, we're letting you know.
as a matter of fact, wait, what you at? Okay, before we get that, you had mentioned about the new bodies, right?
Yeah.
So you have that in
Philippians?
yeah, Philippians 2, 2 and 23.
Philippians chapter 2, verse 23. Him therefore I hope to send presently, so soon as I shall see how it will go with me.
What's the last verse on that?
The last?
Yeah.
30.
You talking about 3?
Philippians 3. Okay, come. Wow, yeah, Philippians 3.
Okay.
Tell us about our bodies.
Vile bodies.
And these bodies are vile. You know? You can bring it out when you get it.
Philippians chapter 3, verse 20. For our conversation is in heaven, from whence also we look for the Savior, the Lord YAHAWASHI.
Right, so, and that's what we're doing, right? We're constantly looking for the return of YAHAWASHI. And he is going to come from the heavens. So all everything we talk about, the way we work, the way we operate is based on heavenly, spiritual conversation. Because we're constantly looking for the return of YAHAWASHI. Oh yeah, the Bible talk. You go to that word, conversation. It's sometimes it's at a start, God, I forgot that. Let's see the pronunciation. But sometimes it's that word, and sometimes it's another word. Which Shofar really goes into the way of life, or the manner of the conduct. Right? So when it talks about Enoch walked with God, it goes into not, he walked with the Most High, they got some lunch, they gonna beat him at the merchant. When they try to sell you them drugs, when they show them in the party and shit, the old ass nigga. That's all what the Most High was doing, alright?
This is walking with God.
That's it, exactly. Okay, so start with, what is that thing?
I got you. One definition is the administration of civil affairs or of a commonwealth, the constitution of a commonwealth, form of government, and the laws by which it is administered, a state, commonwealth, and a commonwealth of citizens.
Oh, so that's even better. So the constitution of the government of Israel or the Commonwealth of Israel is in heaven. Yeah. So it's a heavenly thing. From that same heavens, we're waiting for Yahawashi to come down because he's our high priest. So really Yahawashi went to establish them in the world. He came to seal it all in the New Testament. Right? Because the Testament goes into the will, and as Paul says, it's only in effect when the blood of the testator is shed. That's when the testament comes into force. So when you have the New Testament, it's actually the New Testament. It's not just the name of a set of books. Okay?
Last verse. Who shall change, as is Philippians 3:21, who shall change our vile body, that it may be fashioned like unto his glorious body, according to the working whereby he is able even to subdue all things unto himself.
Right. So when Yahawashi comes back, he's going to change our vile bodies. These bodies are vile. Our bodies right now are like a triangle, right? You start off young, you go up, you hit your peak, and then you start to go down. And when you notice, adults and old and children are pretty much like the same. They're both small, they both start losing their teeth, their mind starts to go, your mind starts to revert the older and older you get, right? You get weaker, you forget things, they gotta put a bed, they gotta give diapers to them. They become like babies again because they're nearing their exit. But when you hit your prime, that's when you're in the prime of your strength, your beauty, your peak, and all of those things. And eventually you start to hit a decline. That's the causes of these bodies. But then even with that aside, this, like the Apostle Paul said that what? It is not I that sinneth, but sin that falls in you. So the Lord had it in Romans 8. It talks about the creature not willing or is made subject to death. By him that subjected the same to hope. So the Most High subjected us to vanity, meaning that it's not like he just makes you sin, but he just made it so you're not sinless. You cannot, you're an imperfect program. So at some point you're bound to break. And he likes that because then you come to him with that contrite spirit. And then he can fix you up, patch you up, and send you back up.
You're trapped in sinful flesh. You're trapped in sin. You know, that's why it says that the change of darkness. The vile bodies is the fact that we have a mind or like a programming to be perfect, but like you say, your CPU or whatever is good, but like every other process that you have is like messed up. Like you're I don't know how I'm like saying that shit, but yeah, like we have a spirit to do good, but the actual vessel that we're in is subject to go off. Right? Yeah, it's a flawed. It's a flawed body.
Yeah, Paul said that. He said, the thing that I would, I do not. The thing that I would not, that I do. So it's like you want it. When you have a change on you, you can move, but you can't move the way you want to move. If you want to run, you're limited to whatever the length of the chains are. You end up falling, you try to do, you can't do that. You know? So that's why I said, you're not free. So in your mind, you want to, but your body becomes a commitment. That's why when you go off, you can light a fire beside it. When you catch yourself, you instantly feel bad because that wasn't your intention. We don't sin with intention, you know. That was it. That was it, right? Yeah. You gonna say that? No. Okay.
Esau capitalizes off of that by making the place a simple place of promoting people.
So the beauty is that.
The second, the book of Hebrews, the second chapter, you get that where it says that he that has power over death, that is the devil. Because Esau, ever from the beginning, he came, actually going back to the serpent, he knew what actually brought death. You know, he knew the fact that disobeying the Most High for Israel, for the sons of God, was actually death. That's why it says that death came into the world through the envy of the devil. Because the sons of God didn't have that. They didn't know or experience what death was going to do. But he, having the ability to use the man of sin, the wages of sin is death, he brought that into the world of Israel, the world of the sons of God, because he wasn't given that I guess you would call it that gift of immortality. And that's why even to this day, everything he's really doing is to break death upon Israel, but to try to increase or try to make his life longer, or basically to get immortality. Technology and all these things, they think that chat, they say that you can talk to a dead one, somebody, dead loved one, they can actually recreate their voice and like all that shit. But he's trying to create pseudo immortality. That's what he's really trying to do. Which he knows, but that goes to show you that he knows that immortality is actually something that is achievable and real. But he will never be able to get it.
I think Harari said something about that, how organic creatures, like, they expire, you know, they die. But inorganic creatures, they can go on forever. So if he can change you from organic to inorganic, like in the TV show, is it Upload? Yeah, where they can, when you die, you can choose to have a natural death or an artificial death where they upload the consciousness into the, like a server something. The metaverse, pretty much. And then, they got to a point, I don't think I finished it, but they got to a point where they were testing downloading your consciousness from the server into a body.
They did it in the second passage.
Oh, they did? So that's artificial immortality right there.
And you put you right back in the same. Basically, that's him doing reincarnation.
I'm gonna say, you said
he's really trying to be the Most High.
So at the end of the day, you know, that's like what they're trying to do, even with the reanimation of the dead loved ones, is they're trying to capture your physical traits. You know, certain tendencies you have, certain the way you think, certain, you know, and what they do is they plug over that into a system that then takes it all and tries to build a character off of that. You know, but that's not necessarily you, because it is limited to what the input that you're given. That's the thing about all these programs they build. They're only as smart necessarily as they're created. They can't actually think for themselves. They only do as much as you can program them to. But if you don't give them the input, then they're limited with that. Now you can give them something, they can take it and do this and do this and do this and do that, but they can never come up with something original. You know?
That's why does all this data collection, right? Because they want to feed it to the AI so AI can interact with humans, because it's human interaction that they're going to be dealing with anyway. So a lot of things we make a call, you start speaking to a robot. Nowadays you can't even talk to nobody no more. So you got customer service, but it's robots that's servicing you. You see what I'm saying? AI, everything is all AI. So that's them creating that mindset, MOTB mentality. Because everything that you're going to be used to anyway is going to be checked anyway. So shit, what's the difference between interacting with it and it being inside of you? At this point, it's like, okay, let me just be a part of it because I'm always in the world anyway. I'm always on the fucking Black Mirror screen, computers, AI every day anyway. So shit, if I'm part of it, then why not? You see? And they're making it popular for
people to own nothing but think of themselves to actually be of importance. You don't own cars no more. You gotta lease that shit. You don't own houses no more. People are trying to buy trailers and shit now. You know what I'm saying? People don't even own themselves anymore. You're buying with contracts and so on and so forth. Every app that you use on your phone, you gotta agree to some type of contract, terms of agreements. Within those terms of agreements comes with a whole lot of shit that if they were to say, okay, this thing is kicking in, you're fucked. You know what I'm saying? You're fucked because you agreed to it already. You see, your banks, all these things that you gotta sign papers and all this shit. Listen, people are in a world of hurt they don't even know about. That's why it's gonna happen suddenly, man. And now you're caught in between where you gotta make that decision. You see? So that time is coming. That decision time is coming, man. All the games are gonna stop. All the games are gonna stop. And you're gonna remember, shit, those men were right. Now what do I do? We're not gonna be here to give you answers, man. Yeah. Because we thinking about what we gotta do.
All right. And this is what you mentioned, or similar. There's an article from the Bite. It says AI tool deep nostalgia lets you reanimate your dead relatives. Pretty much the modern day Witch of Endor.
Yeah, that's something like that, but I know that it's called Chat. Which was actually bought by, or they're in business with Microsoft. You already know that. That's it.
He's the same guy that's trying to create, he said what, synthetic eggs?
Synthetic eggs.
Like lab grown meats and all that 3D printing meat.
Yep.
And they actually, he got experts, so-called scientists and doctors saying, oh yeah, in the future, we're going to be able to do it. Hey, man, get the fuck out of here with that shit. We ain't going to hear that shit. What is this, man? What the hell's going on? You mean to tell me that we got actual cows and you niggas want to kill them off so you can make 3D meat? Yo, Esau, man. Yo, hey.
But then they created the crap.
Something happened in Canada recently where I think they had to release like 100,000 gallons of milk because they said that they had a certain quota. In Canada, the farmer had a certain quota of milk, and they said if you go over the quota, then you have to release it, or you have to just like get rid of it. They got homeless people starving, but this devil makes rules to where the milk, if you make too much, you did too well, so you just gotta throw it out.
If you go to the restaurants in the AC in Vegas, if you the restaurants after a certain amount of time, like buffet joints, they throw all that food away.
Yeah.
And they say like 40%. No, I'm saying, but they got the big buffet, and they be having like mass amounts, like cornbreads and all that. They throw all that away at the restaurant goes.
Yeah, I was just gonna say Babylon is wonton like that. Like you got this country, like we said, is so gluttonous and so greedy, and people eat so much. But how do you have so many homeless people starving? I used to work in a hospital, and they used to have these big lavish events where all the directors of the different departments, and this is in the Bronx, you had all types of homeless people starving outside. Jake messed up, but they would just dump the shit right in the dumpster. I was feeling bad. I would like get a little plate and give it to somebody, but it's like it's so much waste, and that's why another reason why the Lord's going to destroy this world.
I had put in the group chat. There's a video also where they see like a bunch of people down in Austin, Texas, dumpster down, and they were basically picking out good food, like food that was boxed up with and putting it on the car. So that's supposed to let you know that this is one thing because they're telling they just saying throw all that shit away with us instead of just giving that to the people. People need that food. There's people still need that food, and it was mainly Northern tribe that was getting that food. You know what I mean? So it just let you know that we one of the coaches heavy, man, when it comes to like food and trying to pay for food and trying to pay other bills and trying to just survive in the system. You know?
Well, the scriptures talk about the unrighteous peace and how they don't consider the widow fatherless because and that represents those that are at a disadvantage. Really, Israel as a whole, but those that are at an extreme disadvantage because the widows and the fatherless are usually those that will be out there begging and so on and so forth. Because if you were a widow, you're pretty much now under the jurisdiction of your husband. He's the provider for you. And oftentimes, if your husband died or something happened to him, like the widow woman that came crying to Elisha, saying that her husband owed these people, and now that he's gone, she can't pay for it, and they want to take her sons as slaves, basically. You know?
So the widows were always in that position where they were at a disadvantage, and also the fatherless. If you don't have a father, you know, it's hard. If you exactly, you can't find somebody to take you in and, you know, have you on the place or work or something like that. But sometimes that's how you would have Israelites sell themselves as servants to other fellow Israelites.
Precept. It's the book of Hebrews chapter 2, verse 14. For as much then as the children are partakers of flesh and blood, he also himself likewise took part of the same. Hey, and that right there, once again, touches back that how the Lord really created Israel to be on a different level. You know, it says that as the children were partakers of flesh and blood. Okay, that we fell from our first estate. Because we were created to be in the image of the Most High eternity. So yeah, that's why it's really hard to imagine. That's why John said that we don't know what we should be like, because we're going to be on the earth in a terrestrial setting, but our actual bodies are going to be extraterrestrial. You know, it's more extraterrestrial. Really, it's really actual celestial. Because I believe that's 1 Corinthians that says that what we are to be clothed with a body of vessel made from the heavens. So the bodies that we're going to have is going to be, it's really, you can't really imagine it because it's going to look terrestrial, but it's going to be from the celestial. Yeah, the way like the flesh, even though the blood, I'm sure we're going to have blood, but it's going to be like they're totally different. Yeah, it's already set up, so we just get. Yo, I was telling my Heath the other day, I said, yo, it's crazy how it's like, like the Apostle Paul said, in the twinkling of an eye. Your eyes are closed, you get beamed up, and then you open up your eyes, like, you wake up and then you're just in this new body. You're in a body that wasn't born.
Yeah,
It didn't come from a woman. Like, but it feels familiar. It's like hope. Yeah. Like, I just woke up and I'm like, oh shit, like, I was in a different body. I get to a place called body. I'm like, what the fuck? And oh shit, get destroyed. Like, oh shit, get destroyed.
It's going to start with us going into the kingdom, but our bodies are not going to be born of them. And then those that are born of us are going to be born of God. So all the born of Israel are going to be a part of anybody here because we're all born of women. And that's the woman in the beginning of sin.
That's why YAHAWASHI says that. The least of the kingdom is going to be greater than John. And you know, John was also Elijah.
He said the same about Solomon too. He said, in all his array, you know, what was Solomon? He said that in all his array, even one of the lilies, he wasn't clothed like one of the lilies. Right. Yeah, because the Most High intricately clothed those lilies, and even the finest seamstress and whatnot could not make clothes of Solomon as fine as those lilies. You know.
So continuing Hebrews 2 verse 14, it says, he also himself likewise took part of the same, that through death he might destroy him that had the power of death, that is death. And that goes back to what the Lord told Cain, that if you do well, you'll be accepted, but if not, what sin lieth at the door, and thou shalt have until it shall be thy desire. And when sin is completed, it brings forth death. That's why following after the ways of this world is what death. Like a carnal mind is death. And that's what Solomon said, that's what Esau pushes out in this society. Everything is all about the pleasures of the flesh, the pleasures of the carnality of the mind. You know, and that's the condition of the battle, because we're in a fleshly body, but we're trying to fight the temptations of flesh. I was trying to say that the spirit is the ability of the flesh. That's not for everybody. That's just really the elect, the ones who are given diligence. Everybody, they don't have a battle in their mind between the spirit and the flesh. They just are subject to the will of the flesh. They don't even think spiritually. They don't even have that inclination of, like the spirit is something that is trying to get me stop doing wickedness. Nah.
I saw a caption. they literally put, I got sin on my mind, I'm on demon time. But, spiritual, right? The spiritual, how the elder quoted that precept, right? Sin lies at the door. Now, when you read in Revelation 3 and 20, Yahawah talks about standing at the door and knock. Because the door represents your mind. So you have, like you said, sin lies at the door, so it's always there. Just like now, the elect have Yahawah was knocking at the door, and they let him in, so he kicked sin out the way. You know, that's like you come to the door, see somebody else knocking there, and you kick them out the way, and now he's in and now you let him in. Now, but guess what? Right? They go around, they lurk in the places. You know what I'm saying? They lurk in the places and looking for a home, and then when they come back to see you available. You know?
Yeah, it was actually talking about the government of Israel. There's a book of Isaiah chapter 45, verse 4. It says, "For Jacob my servant's sake, and Israel mine elect, I have called thee by thy name, I have surnamed thee, though thou hast not known me." Verse 5.
And it says, so like it said, if surnamed us by thy name, that name is very important. The name Joshua, the sons of the power. That's why these Amalekites, when they went to deceive the whole world, they could have took any name. You know, they could have said that they were Ishmaels. I mean, they do try, but I'm talking about the actual roots. You know, 48, they could have said that they were the original Ammonites, Moabites, but they stole that name because that name. There's no other country, no other nation on the planet that has that name. The sons of God, the princes of the power. That's a very important title, a very important name to have. But that's why it says that all your children of God should die like men. Nobody else can say that they literally our name means that we're the sons of God. That in itself is just like phenomenal. Inherited. Right, inherited. You can't take that from. That's why I said Isaac is the seed of the promise. You know, the children of the flesh, these are not the children of God. Because you have Abraham and other children, but the Lord chose through Isaac and through Jacob that was going to be the lineage, like that God, the God line. Yeah, it's literally the God line. The chosen God line.
Yeah, continuing on verse 5. I am the Lord, and there is none else. There is no God beside me. I girded thee, though thou hast not known me.
Yeah, I had some individual. I think I was in the Snowboard Society. He came up. He was in there talking about. I don't even know how he got to conversation with me. He's talking about. Really good. Now, would you be open to me telling you that there's God the Father and God the Mother? He said he created man and woman and said let him within the power of it. So that power, man and woman, you have God the male and you also have the God the woman. That's the hell of man. You did all that shit. Just come to this stupid ass point. I'm like, man. But that's pretty much what he's like. And that was the thing, like, dude, shit. You're talking about, I should take the numbers and even check
Chat GPT.
Oh, shit. That's it, you gotta get up on the number.
That's that Asteroid spirit. Queen of heaven. That's how you know who Israel is. Israel always trying to mix it up. I appreciate Sirach 37 and 25. The days of the life of man may be numbered, but the days of Israel are innumerable.
Right. The days of Israel are innumerable. Why? Because once again, we were created to be the image of the Most High eternity. So that's why what's that? Jeremiah, the 31st chapter, the Lord said, if you could measure the heights of the heaven or the sea below, then I will get rid of Israel. But you can't do that, and technically you can't get rid of Israel because the Lord created us in His image. We're innumerable, we are the physical. I was even thinking about this called like YAHAWASHI. Like YAHAWASHI literally is the physical express image of the Most High. The physical express image of the Most High. Like that in itself is like something you can't even fathom.
add to your point, through the Spirit of the Lord, we're teaching Jacob, telling him that through YAHAWASHI, we're going to have immortality, we're going to live forever. And this is how you know Israel's the saddest people, and this is our people, because they hear that immortality, never being in pain, not having to deal with any issues, no bills, and they hear that and like, nah, I'd rather smoke a meta blunt with Biggie in the chat GPT metaverse, like some bullshit. Meet a celebrity in the metaverse. Oh, I can meet Tupac and Biggie again and capture their essence. Instead of receiving YAHAWASHI. So that's how you know who Israel is too.
That's how far they fell from spirit being spiritual. Because the Lord said what? That time is coming and now is that we're the true worshipers will worship the Father. The Father is the Spirit. And it's such a way you gotta worship, you gotta be tapped into the actual spirit in order to even get on this type of a mindset, type of level. A lot of our people, they've been so removed from being spiritual that they can't even consider immortality. What that actually means, entails. They can't consider not being sick every day, not having to deal with these type of things. Because we have that's the power. That was going back to the second chapter. That was the devil's power to present, to give reference to society, which really starts with the mindset of getting you disconnected from being spiritual. Because anything outside of the spirit, that's being spiritual, is death. It's either carnal minded or spiritual minded. You can't do both. And you got a lot of people, even our people, getting out of this whole thing about spiritual, my spiritual journey. But really, if it's not YAHAWASHI, you're in the left-hand spiritual journey. It don't matter what type of spiritual journey you think you're doing. If it's not according to YAHAWASHI, it's really going to lead to death.
Yeah, I had another one. 1 Timothy 6:12. Fight the good fight of faith. Lay hold on eternal life, whereunto thou art also called.
Right, so we're called to fight the good fight of faith, that we may lay hold onto that eternal life. The Lord has set it up, and guess what? At the end of the day, somebody's going to get that eternal life because the Most High set it up that way. And that somebody is the elect. So it's not a matter of whether the elect exists or not, it's a matter of whether you are of the elect or not. You know? Go ahead.
And has professed a good profession before many witnesses.
And what is that good profession? Just look at it. Right? Hebrews 11, I believe it's Hebrews 11 or 12, and the first verse talks about the cloud of great witnesses. Okay? So we professed ourselves a good profession, right?
I could read some more.
Can you bring that back again?
Yeah, I got it. 1 Timothy 6:12. Fight the good fight of faith.
Uh-huh.
Lay hold on eternal life, whereunto thou art also called.
Right, they hold on eternal life. And in the book of Luke, the 4th chapter, it talks about that. About walking in the ways of the words in this book and not giving your honor unto another. And that's what Israel want to do. They're like, you can have it. You know, take it. We don't want it, you know. I don't give a damn. If you, a typical Israelite right now, if you were to tell them about the fact that our nationality was stolen from us and these devils are, they're not going to give it. They do not, they can literally care less. They actually can care less. Yeah.
When he said, I don't want it, like, don't give your honor to another. That's literally what Esau did. That's why YAHAWASHI said, you're your father the devil.
Exactly. That must have been some begging ass prodigy because it was you just lost. That's 1,000 years of slavery that you just gave up. You know? And when you're in that period of time, you're gonna be thinking of all that. But you ain't gonna get that from their actions anyway.
That's why they're doing everything that they're doing. Everything that they're doing right now because they thinking about how they gave up the blessing. How they gave the birthday.
Hey, it must be infuriating. You see Jake drugged up on the street corners and know that look at me and look at him, and yet I'm gonna be subject to him because of that. Damn.
Actually, I was just going to read down because it goes into the immortality.
Okay.
1 Timothy 6:13. I give thee charge in the sight of the Most High, who quickeneth all things, and before Hamashiach YAHAWASHI, who before Pontius Pilate witnessed a good confession, that thou keep this commandment without spot,
Meaning blameless. All right, fully. All right,
unrebukable.
unrebukable. And that goes into how you conduct yourself. Right? There's a way to do it. You can be right about something and wrong about the way wrong in the way you go about it. And that can actually be to your detriment.
The scriptures talk about it, a word spoken in due season. And that's a sweet thing. That's a beautiful thing. Sometimes you could be right and say something at the wrong time.
Right.
Or you could have the right, or you could say something in a certain time and it's not right at that time.
Right. Yeah.
not the
You
time.
gotta apply wisdom. Know when to say what in righteousness. That's why the Lord spoke about being wise as serpents and harmless as doves. Okay?
Unrebukable until the appearing of our Lord YAHAWASHI HaMashiach, which in his times he shall shew.
See, because you gotta understand that we have a job to do. And so we do have something to lose. And that's why you have to apply wisdom, right? Sometimes you may get upset. You may just want to lose it. But you gotta always think about downstream impacts. You gotta think about consequences. What happens the second you lose it and you start throwing hands with some, you're not in high school or elementary school anymore where they take you to the principal's office and you get a write-up and you get suspended and that's it. There's bigger consequences. Police get involved, you can get arrested, a lot of these things. When that happens, you're not out here teaching this word. And that's a problem. Because if you're not out here teaching this word, then guess what? Now because what excuse are you going to tell the Most High? Oh, Lord, I wasn't out teaching your word because I was locked up. Well, why were you locked up? Then that's when the problem gets identified. Oh, well, this guy said such and such to me, and then I did this. So it's going to be on you. Whatever time that you didn't put into the work of the Lord, he doesn't give a damn where you are. Because he knows where you should be. And if you behave the right way, you would be there.
It says, 1 Timothy 6:15, which in his times he shall shew, who is the blessed and only potentate, the king of
that word.
yeah.
That also lines up with 2 Ezra 16. It talks about that shall they be known who are my chosen.
Yeah, the word there in the Greek for potentate is. Bear with me 1 second. Yep.
It said the U.S. shot down the Chinese civilian. Oh. Interesting. You got it right.
Yeah. iPad ain't working.
I see it.
I'm trying to click it.
But like it said, they're gonna show at that time it is gonna be known basically who are the blessed. Because now you got people that think it's debatable. We know we're pretty persuaded in our minds, and we know that this is the truth. But you have others that think it's debatable. Well, we gonna come and show you that you said that scripture meant that, but that's not what it means. You guys said you did this, but you're not really this. And the Most High is gonna shut all that down. Because then it brings confusion. When we push this and you go, no, with this. But then you say this and you say that. And that's why the scriptures tell you that when the prophets, the apostles of old were teaching, the Lord confirmed the things that they were saying with signs. You can see this the same thing with Elijah and the widow woman. And that shows you that women were much older back then. Because when he got there, he said, look, what are you doing? He said, oh, I'm gathering these sticks to go make, fire. So I'm making this last meal to me and my son and we gonna die. Then he's gonna tell her, no. You think you use that to make a cake of these words and drink this water, and then you go do the rest. And then she said, yes, my Lord, she went and did it. Now, what woman, in this society, she's talking about, this is my last dollar, I don't get paid until next week. Now, I'm trying to buy this little can of soup, so I can go home and eat it. He said, nah, you buy that soup for me. Matter of fact, buy it and prepare it for me, and give me some more, and then after that, you're going to find something to do with it. You're going to find out just how disrespectful the women in this age are,
It's pulling out the word.
Okay, you got the words? Okay, good. It's all about the word.
Potentate, it says a prince, a courtier, high officer, royal minister of great authority.
And there you go, right? Which is baked into our name, the name Israel, right? Yasher Allah, he is the prince of the power. Okay? So with that, we read that verse again.
1 Timothy 6:15.
which in his times he shall shew, who is the blessed and only potentate.
The only, okay, which is the elect, starting with which is the nation of Israel, starting with the elect, the Israel of God.
And if I may, real quick, the word, it also kind of looked like dynasty. Do you not think? So that's the dynasty of Yahawashi.
Well, a prince is a part of the dynasty.
Right.
So if he inherits it from the blood, he's got to know that was his son. Right.
Something that is part of the lineage, like the Patriots dynasty, right? Football. You couldn't say, oh, the Patriots dynasty, and also incorporate like the Giants. It was no, that's the Patriots dynasty. So the dynasty of Israel can only incorporate Israel. That's why Daniel the second chapter said it should not be left to other people, right? Because then it wouldn't be the kingdom of Israel at that point. It would be the kingdom of Israel and then other people. It's just only Israelites that are going to be the rulers and the ones that are in authority in the kingdom of Israel, in the kingdom of heaven, which is going to be an everlasting kingdom.
That's right.
Daniel 7 and 18. Daniel saw the vision that what that the saints shall take the kingdom and shall possess it forever, even forever and ever.
They'll say everybody's the saint. Or you go back to what a saint is. Exactly. He that made a covenant with the Most High by sacrifice.
That's it. You know?
I'm going to read the etymology, the word dynasty. It said a race or succession of sovereigns from the same line or family governing a country.
You can look up sovereign. It's a race, and that goes back to the word Raza, meaning what? So a seed of succession.
And it still happens.
Even after you.
I even started my phone.
Superior, ruler, master, one who is superior to or has power over another.
You cancel this.
Bring it back. Superior, ruler, master, one who is superior to or has power over another.
So who's the one nation that was made superior? Going back to the dynasty and the word sovereign, the only nation that can be considered a sovereign is who? The Israelites. You get that from me? Deuteronomy 7 and 6. That's the spirit. Exactly what I was thinking.
Deuteronomy 7 and 6. It says, for thou art an holy people unto Yahweh thy power. Yahweh thy power hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
So by that very definition, only the Israelites are the only nation of people that can be sovereigns. Okay? And we're the only ones that are nobility. And nobility is timeless. Alright? So when we get to the kingdom, guess what? We're gonna be rulers, nobles. Meaning we're at the top of the top. The one nation that's ruling over the whole entire earth. That's what it means to be in the kingdom of Israel or in the kingdom of heaven. The kingdom of heaven is going to be ruled only by the 12 tribes of Israel. It tells you in the book of Revelation, the 7th chapter, who the Lord is going to find. It's very specific. Okay? And it matches up perfectly with all the prophets and what they saw in the past. Going back to the book of Genesis. Okay? Going back to the blessing that the Lord gave to Jacob and Esau. Okay? And that's being fulfilled right now as we speak. Okay? Jacob holding Esau's heel. Okay? Esau's the end of the world. Jacob is the beginning of it that follows. So we're in that transition period. That's the times that we're in now. Everything you're seeing us do now is what? During the transition period until the kingdom of heaven. All right? That's it.
Says nobles.
Jeremiah 30, verse 21.
I see something in your mouth like that.
Their nobles shall be of themselves, and their governor shall proceed from the midst of them. And I will cause him to draw near, and he shall approach me. For who is this that engaged his heart to approach to me, saith the Lord?
Because the nobles are going to be of themselves. We're not going to, was that Isaiah? Isaiah 10? No longer should they stay upon him as smokers. You know? That goes even back to the law that have setting up a king of another nation. You know? Our people are all into voting for the Congress, for the president. Whenever you see this, it's so amazing.
whenever the time of election comes out, no propaganda commercial is always directed towards Israel. I'm like, yo, you say that we're only quote unquote 13% of this nation's population. Why in the hell do all your slogans and all of your commercials is always pushed towards Jake going to vote? No, we gotta get the black vote. We gotta get the black vote. And it's really because Charlie Judah, because that once the Judah goes for a particular person, then the other nations won't follow. That's why they said that Biden was the first president to have this many Latin votes. But who they really pushing towards? It's pushing towards Judah first. Right? But in the kingdom, our nobles, our governors, our leaders are going to all be Israelites. See, the thing is, right now, people can't fathom that. They can't fathom an Israelite being in a position of power and authority and actually ruling over. That's why even in amongst kids, man, you got kids where brothers they have fallouts because they don't want to be subjected unto rank and order, man. That's why ultimately YAHAWASHI, he's going to shut it all down, man. He's going to shut that out. But hey, YAHAWASHI, his order and the first fruits in their order. That's what we're going to do.
Hey, I mean, YAHAWASHI did say, he told us that we shouldn't have that kind of mindset.
He said that's the mindset of the heathens, man.
That, who's going to be above who in the kingdom, all this. He said, we don't move like that. You know, as a matter of fact, the greater shall be the younger. The greater shall serve the youngest, man. The smallest. You know, he's the greatest, so that's why he served all of us. It sets an example. You know, but like the elder said, who's going to be the kings in the kingdom? The nobles. It tells you the 12,000 out of each tribe. 144,000. That's your nobles right there. All right?
One more verse. I'll read 15 again. 1 Timothy 6 and 15. Which in his times he shall shew, who is the blessed and only potentate, the King of kings and Lord of lords, who only hath immortality, dwelling in the light which no man can approach unto, whom no man hath seen nor can see, to whom be honor and power everlasting. Amen.
As it says, everlasting. See, that's one thing that the so-called Christian church never tells you. I mean, they speak about it, but they never go in detail about everlasting life. They don't explain it, but that's written in the scriptures. Now you gotta ask yourself, wait a minute. They say heaven is in the spirit world. When you die, you either go to heaven or hell, right? But then they tell you that after you die is where you're gonna have everlasting life. Life is when your spirit and your body are here on earth. So how do you have everlasting life after you're dead? But ask the pastor that he's gonna kick you off the church. He's gonna say, you won't go mad if you guys don't go find the question. But when you go into, you get that real quick in Revelation 21, it tells you that the kingdom of heaven is going to be here on earth. So everlasting life means life here, continuous and continuous. That's immortality.
That ain't for everybody.
It ain't for everybody. You know?
Because every kingdom that ever ruled on this earth, every kingdom that we know of actually took place on this earth. And they all had a certain type of people ruling at that certain time. You had the Greeks who were ruling. There was nobody else that was ruling. All right, there were people who were before them. The Persians, the Assyrians, all right, the Medes. All right, they all ruled at a certain time, the Egyptian time. All right, then you had the Romans who came in and ruled. All right, and you have who now? Who's ruling now? America. This is the second Roman Empire. So they're ruling everything. When you go back into Roman history and you look at American history, it's almost identical. It's a carbon copy, like they say. You see? The coins, exactly. The money, the Latin. The laws are written in Latin.
Roman numerals.
The Roman numerals. All right. Today, when you type up a Word document, what do you use? It tells you to use times New Roman times. Everything is just what old times being brought back into this time to fit this world, but it's based on the old structure, right? They had the Senate, they had the two political parties. All these things are all written in the scriptures. Exactly.
Nobody tells you that. They teach you that social studies over. It's the Renaissance period. It's the Renaissance period. Oh yeah. It's the Renaissance
Masonic
period.
entities trying to run this earth.
Women so much.
I remember listening to this when I was
Renaissance period is rebirth, but they never tell you what they rebirth. You know, but then after the Renaissance period, they actually have something called the romanticized period. In that, the suffix or the prefix of that is what? The Roman period. And then they had what, the Age of Enlightenment, which is basically the time of scientific exploring, and really that's when their Illuminati foundation starts to actually go out there. All these different things, man. But in school, growing up, you just thinking that, oh, this is just what, okay, well, they're literally teaching us their history of their kingdom, how they got to their power.
Never tell you about, and then the Dark Ages is never spoken about. We just refer to the Dark Ages or the middle period. What happened? You know, what happened? Nobody knows. And they say that during the Dark Ages, there was no civilization, like nobody learned anything. That was them. Because when you read in the history, it tells you that during the Dark Ages it was dark for them. You know, so they were the ones on the bottom. As a matter of fact, Spain, Europe was ruled by Israelites, dark-skinned people. The Moors,
That's where you had math, the sewage system, all that came during the Middle Ages. And they said that there was no information being spread. But darkness really refers to intelligence. They wasn't. That's where they really get the cave people from. They said the caveman. That wasn't no Neanderthals 10,000 BC. That was literally a couple thousand years ago. That they were actually in that dumb state. And today it's talking about what the Revelation 20th chapter. The Satan being bound for 1,000 years. And then he had to be loose for a little season, and then he did what he always does. He beat the whole world.
Hey, and that's why what happened of modern day Renaissance now. This time is what the rebirth of what Israelite culture. The Israelite, who we are as Israelites, our power, YAHAWASHI, YAHAWASHI, our laws, statutes, and commandments, and what's to come, which is the kingdom. And that's when we're going to be able to actually hold our laws and uphold it so the whole entire earth can be what? In harmony, man. That's how the Lord programmed it to begin with. If Israel's at the top, then everybody else got to learn from Israel. We're going to be good. And then he has his men, all right, 12,000 on each tribe, 144,000 to enforce his laws, his righteous laws right here on earth.
governing body.
The governing body, no rules.
And that's proper order. You know, that's complete proper order. Now, you mentioned, real quick, I saw you looking at the sign. You see yourself on here? Where are you from? Uruguay? There you go. Now, just recently, right, you had this whole thing about the 12 tribes thing, right? Now, this is a prime example as to why the Lord commanded us, he commanded us to follow the sign. Because when people walk by, the sign attracts them. And they stop and you say, what's going on? And they look at the sign and they may see where they're from. Are you familiar with this? The 12 tribes of Israel? So, when you look on here, now you notice that we got the names, the more modern names of these people here. And we also got the ancient biblical names up in here, right? Because all these people you see here go back to the 12 tribes of Israel. You familiar with the Bible at all? And when you deal with the children of Israel, the ones that Moses took out of Egypt, guess what? These people you see here are the descendants of them. Now you're not going to see the word Negroes or West Indians or Haitians in the Bible, but it doesn't mean that they don't exist in there. They just go by these names right here. So like you said, you are what? Uruguay right here? You be from the tribe of Asher. That's one of the 12 sons of the children of Israel. Now why is this important? Is because when you go into the scriptures, matter of fact, we start with Deuteronomy 7, is it 7 and 6? About more people? Yeah, so we're going to bring it out again. When you go into the Bible, the Most High has the chosen people, right? God shows the people, and they're the only ones that the Lord is dealing with. So really, the whole Bible is really about us, and it's for us. But when you go into these Christian churches, they don't teach you the truth. So you got a lot of people that don't want to go into the churches because you just sit there and you don't really learn anything. A lot of people come out of there, you ask them a basic question, and they can't answer you. And that's why the Lord set us up out here to come out and teach the truth about the Bible, and to let our people know that, hey, look, you're not Uruguayan or Puerto Rican or Dominican. You are.
That's what they gave us.
That's the name they gave us, exactly.
You know what Uruguay means? Definition. See, that's important, you know, because if you're calling yourself something, you're putting a title on yourself, you know. But if you're saying I'm Uruguayan, I'm from Uruguay, what does that mean? You know, we know that actually this brother right here, he's from Asher. Right. He could tell you I'm an Asherite, and then actually what that actually has meaning too, right. Because in the scriptures, names carry power.
You know, that's why even the son of the Most High, his name. When people say in churches they can call him anything, that's false because the name carries power. That's what
names are identities, right? If you, I'm not gonna ask for your name, but let's say your name is John. You pass him by, and I start saying, "Hey yo, Kareem," you gonna respond? No, that's not your name. And then if I come to you and you say, "Yo, bro, you keep calling me Kareem, my name is John," what you gonna probably do? You gonna snuff it, right? You gonna snuff it. Exactly. That's because what? Names are what?
The word Uruguay means worst tail. So you go around calling something worst tail. You don't look like the worst tail.
I used to walk by Snapchat when I was younger, and I used to listen to you guys. But I feel like now that I'm older and stuff, everything makes more sense because I understand more. And thank you. You guys like just seeing this like open my eyes. Even if it was a law, it put a seed in my head. It was an idea. So thank you. Thank you guys so much.
God bless you, all right? Take care.
Thank you for your work.
That's it.
You're doing something amazing. Whoever listens and actually listens is gonna know something.
Oh, YAHAWASHI outside.
All right, that's the importance. Oh, YAHAWASHI outside. All right, people are waking up now. Years ago, you wouldn't have as many people stop by. Nowadays, even if they stop by every once in a while, they have some context. Like they know a little something. Even if they don't know directly about the 12 tribes, they know something, or they're more receptive to. Oh yeah, no, they have been doing this. Or yeah, I was reading about this, or I heard about this. Why is that? Because pursuant to Daniel 12, knowledge shall be increased. You know. Now you got a lot of individuals that are still, on the low level, and some of them that stop by might not make them. But the point is that the word is still going out, and they're being marked one way or the other. And that's why it's also important that we come out here and teach the word of the Lord. Because when somebody's just walking, let's say every one of us is just like, you know what, stop it. That's it. Right there, on board. When you go to the field, you never go to our field. You think somebody's gonna come to your door? First off, you live in an apartment, you go into the lobby is locked, unless you are a resident there, you don't have a key. You go into the lobby, and then you gotta go up to the floor to a very specific apartment. Who's gonna come to your apartment to come and say, yo, if you are inside of that building, unless somebody comes into that building, they're not gonna hear you. So that's why the Lord sent us to the highways and hedges where the people are. Because that was the chief place of concourse. And the word can go out. And even if they don't stop, they still hear and they still get marked.
Hey, it's crazy too because it's kind of crazy or impossible to think that, by just doing videos on YouTube, that's all it is. No, because you know how hard it is to come across a video, any of our videos, you don't get that many views like that.
Lately, of course, because of prophecy, you got our videos being
watched a lot more because now's the time. The Lord is marking a lot more people and seeing the elect much quicker. So that's why the view counts are all the way up now in the thousands all the time out there. You see, it's like, oh shit, But back then, you could barely see a video unless,
like, something comes up, like I said, and then you type it, oh shit, that's how I came to the truth.
But prior to that, something that was in the world, but brothers, talk about it, edifying and so.
And I was like, oh shit, what is this?
So there's different avenues that the Lord will bring you into this truth, but a random person is not going to find out videos randomly.
Like, unless somebody sends it to you, you're not going to see our videos because YouTube is
vast.
Shadow banning. Yeah, man, it's so many different worlds within worlds on YouTube, man.
You can have a channel that you never even get suggestions or none of that. So it's like almost impossible to come across any of our videos, man. And then now they
put in a concerted effort to try to eliminate our videos. So you already know we coming to that point
where very soon, man, you're not going to see no Hebrew Israelite videos, especially the true men of the Lord. You can see the false prophets and all that bullshit because that's the times that we're going to be in already. So they're going to try to weed away the truth, the ones who actually make everything clear. You know what I'm saying? Because what they want right now is confusion. When you have confusion, it's easier to track people. Because nobody knows where to go. What information should I listen to? Who am I listening to? What's going on? Oh my God, another thing happened again today. I don't know what to believe in. That's what
this one start at the same time too?
You keep on pushing people like that, and they get to the point where they don't know what to believe, that's the easiest way you can get them. Now at this point, they'll just do anything to stop the stress, the constant panic, and all this different shit. That's it. You see, but when we come out, we give you the clear understanding.
Matthew 10 and 27. What I tell you in darkness, that speak ye in light, and what ye hear in the ear, that preach ye upon the housetops.
And that's what we're doing, right? What the Lord speaks to us in darkness, what He reveals to us in their mysteries. What's that? Amos 3:7. Showing the Lord God nothing but He revealed it. First off, let's take a secret in the world. If somebody was to tell you a secret, what does that tell you? Number one, trust. That the person trusts you. The person thinks about you, and they think that you are somebody that's trustworthy, right? And then number two, they're confident. So if somebody says, look, I'm going to tell you this secret, my secret is boom, 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 that builds a strong relationship between you and that individual. Now imagine the Most High doing that. All these billions of people on the planet Earth, the Most High says, I'm going to give you my secret and give you the ability to go out there and teach. Understand that the fact that you're standing here today, being able to break down these scriptures, it has become normal to us. But remember when you first came into truth, just hearing brothers quote precepts from them, what that is, you know? It gets everybody. Look, man, even people that you go against, that come and try to scoff against you, you don't get. I remember the first time that I came here. It was right there. It was Zion and Sop, and I was asking the question, and I noticed every time I asked a question, they would look away. He was whispering to the side. So I thought, I thought they didn't care about what I'm saying. You know, they're like, oh, it's annoying. But then he stopped and he said, because I was stopped while he was doing that, he said, he gave the precept to answer your question. And in my mind, I'm like, I didn't even ask the question. I ain't gonna ask the question. But when you come up with pretty much the same kind of things that brothers have heard again. You know, but this precept here, you ask this question, and I wasn't I'm not a go-to individual. So I had lots, I had lots and lots of questions. Every day I was sending them, hey, so what about this? This said this, this said this. And one thing I noticed was there was always an answer for every single question. Even a question within a question within a question. Then there's a precept. There's a precept. You just get one precept, and at that point you say, you know what? I'm out of questions.
And it's that scripture, through that precept, I gain understanding, therefore I hate every false way. Because if it's not coming from the scriptures, then it's a false way. The scriptures is the outside is called the volume of the book. So if your answer, if the answer you're looking for is answered through the scriptures, that's the truth. That is the right answer. And you see a lot of people, they will say to you, oh, no, I don't want to do it. I don't want the scriptures. I want you to give me that. That's going back to Isaiah 30th chapter, prophesying to us deceits. Give us smooth things, because the scriptures is going to give you the truth. Now, if you are a pure person, it's going to be, it may not be smooth, but it's going to eventually get this smooth if you're pure. It may be something hard for the swallow. You first got to eat it, but eventually it's going to be something, if you are a pure life, it's going to be something that you can digest. But people in this world, they don't want the truth. That's why when you hit them with the scriptures, they'll say, oh, I don't want that. I don't want that. I want you to tell me. Because they want that.
That's you giving them the medication to their illness, and then they can't stomach it, so they puke it, they throw it up. I don't want that one. I don't want that. Give me something else. Well, this is the only treatment for the cure. I mean, this is the only cure for the problems. But the elect, what happens, like the elder said, they digest it, and then what? They get healed, and then they grow. So they come up here like, hey, my leg, you know? What's it like? The deficiency is understanding. What's hunger? He has no foundation. So we come in and we're always specifically asking specific questions so we can build that foundation. Every single brother who first woke up to his truth, we always have the same question, because it's one thing that we think about, which is Yahawashi. How am I going to get to the kingdom? So now you start asking the questions to lead you to the kingdom. When somebody comes up and they ask them, you already know, and they're following this or that. Based on what they're asking.
I know it's in Matthew 13, but I know it's also in Mark where it says, because the Lord, that's right there showing you that salvation is something that is not easily found. The ability to make it, to be delivered, to be saved, to be the ones elect is not something that's one that indicated that you know that Jesus is not the way. Because everybody knows that. Everybody thinks that through Jesus Christ and that philosophy and that doctrine that you can be saved. But if that was the case, then it wouldn't be a mystery. It wouldn't be something that is mysterious, was a mysterion, which goes to the word a hidden thing, a secret. The doctrine of Jesus Christ is not a secret. You got Chinese people, you got Indians, you got literally everybody. Now we know that Israel, the elected scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, looking like the other nations, but this doctrine is not something that is easily understood by everybody. It's only understood by the ones who was given the secret, given the secret.
Right? It's like Esau, even on the left hand side, they got secret society. And only a few people are initiated in that shit. And if you're not initiated, you're not going to understand why they do certain things, certain gestures, certain way of speaking, handshakes, all that. You're not part of the inner circle. Right. It's the same thing with this truth. It's so precious, and the truth is perfect. It's the most perfect word. Right. So you think he's just going to let anyone come around, man? Go read the Old Testament and see how Most High really deals, man. You see, these people have no clue, man. The Most High is very, very specific. Very specific, man. There's no, just a half an inch off time. It has to be 100% accurate. If not, it can't work. That means it's divine. Because the Most High is great, man. You're going to see. People going to see, man. What we do is like, there's nothing to compare to what the Lord is about to really show everyone very soon.
Yeah, because the Most High won't, when he asks you to do something very specific, he's going to give you a task that he knows it can be done in the way he's asking for it to be done. That way he is justified when he says, I told you to do it this way for a reason. Not that you couldn't do it, it's possible. It's entirely possible. I'm the Most High. Obviously, I know if I'm asking you to do something that's impossible. But I'm not asking you to do something that's impossible, so why didn't you do it? Then what's your excuse? The thing about the Lord, why he is to be feared, is there's no excuse. You can't give an excuse to the Lord. If the Lord tells you something, he knows that the only way you will not do it is if you don't want to, or you come up with some reason. But if you say, look, the Lord said I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it, you're going to be able to do it. And what makes it worse is, he can say, well, what about your fellow brothers who have the same mission? Why are they doing it and you're not doing it? That's the worst part. Because God, what are you going to say? It's impossible? So how are they doing it here? Why are they here?
Precept? Okay. Yeah, I got to pull it. This is the book of Psalm, chapter 119 and verse 104. King David said, through thy precepts I get understanding, therefore I hate every false way.
That's why you also got to stay reading through. Because the understanding, the Lord's understanding is unmeasurable. Okay? It's unmeasurable. So really, you read in the scriptures, you can never get to a point where you're like, you know what? I know every breakdown, every scripture of every precept. Oh, I don't need to read it. Yeah, well, people, I read the Bible front to back for a time. Yes, what's the problem? That goes once again to, you have to stay constantly in it, man. You have to consistently always, because there's so many layers, man. The many-fold of YAHAWASHI. There's so many different, you can read the same scripture, that's what I was talking about. You can read the same scripture 5 times, and then you just get, the Lord can enlighten you to another understanding, another breakdown. It's like, and you know it came from the Lord, because it's like, you ain't never hear nobody, but it connects though too. So it's not like you coming out with your own breakdown. It's just like, oh, that also was like, no, you saying something about that?
No, I'm saying you just get a deeper understanding.
Yeah, deeper understanding.
Yep.
And it's like when you dig it, a lot of the precious stones and gems are really like down in the earth. It's not from on the top, so you gotta keep digging.
Even if it's the same spot.
Yep.
Same precept. You read it over and over again. And the more you read other precepts, the more certain other precepts make sense. I remember when I first read like books like Isaiah and certain books that the Apostle Paul wrote. At first, there's certain verses that you read and you just read it, right? When they give examples like as this or as this, or like as the oak tree that does this or whatnot. You got it, okay, the oak tree got it. But when you go back and you read like the laws and you read other scriptures, and you understand, oh, this is the nature of the oak tree. Or this is how this behaves. When you come back and read the precept, oh, this is why he compared whatever he's comparing the mustard seed. Exactly. This is why the Lord said this, that, and the third, because it makes more sense now. Lord ain't just saying, just to say, I'm looking for a word. Let me pick a mustard seed and throw it out there to the book. No, But that's why, like the elder said, you got to keep studying. If Mayweather was to stop boxing right now and say, all right, I beat everybody I could beat, that's it, I'm done. Let him come back in 10 years and put him in the ring and see if he'll be able to do his good.
Y'all believe in Jesus?
It's like,
Do ya? It's a question.
what's up?
Okay, yeah, that's his name. That's his name. That's what I call him. Okay. All right, that's right. Yeah. Nah, I'm a supporter of y'all, man. I'm a supporter of y'all, but I'm saying you speaking to a person like I read the whole Bible back and forth, and I was locked up, you know. So me being locked up, that's where I ended up becoming familiarized. I familiarized myself with it, and I'm not gonna let no priest tell me whatever. I know what I believe in, you know. And I mark of the beast. I mean, what's that? When you beat it on your forehead?
Yeah, you know what it actually is though? Because John the Revelator said he saw something. So he said that everybody couldn't buy or sell unless they got this mark of the beast. So it's actually something that was physical. I'm asking you know what that is because that's the time that we're in right now.
See, now that right there, that's a little different. It's not too different or whatever, but you know, it's a
prophecy. It's something that you gotta be.
Yeah. Listen, I believe it. I do not. I tell a lot of Christians, a lot of Catholics, in which I do not agree with the Catholics or whatever. I tell them all the time or whatever, right? I'm like, Jesus ain't come to renew no law. He came, right, to give y'all better understanding of Moses' law, right? Is what he was saying and whatever. Because you know, there's a lot of debate. I'm not with that Virgin Mary stuff, right? Like, cause that goes down as idolatry and stuff like that. Even himself was saying it. I mean, like, and so if I'm to identify myself with something, I think it's something that's with I'm not a Jew, but I think it has something to do with the Judaism.
The Jews are from one tribe. That's the tribe of Judah.
Yes, yeah.
Going back to the mark of the beast, that's the microchip that they're coming out with right now.
Okay.
You know, society's getting pushed towards everything being digital. So I'm only telling you that right now because society is they're going to make it seem like this is something that everybody should take, and they're going to force it because you're not going to be able to go buy pizza, you're not going to be able to go support your family unless you take this mark. But that's really a test of your faith, is really trusting in the Most High.
I don't got no vaccine, right? I don't do none of that stuff, and I'm not gonna let no microchip get processed inside of me. Right?
Take death instead of that. That's the message.
I'm always ready, right? It's just what I'm saying, and actually, like, if anything, I support y'all more than anything. I'm just letting y'all know.
You most likely an Israelite. I know exactly what tribe.
I don't know y'all. I know the 12 tribe, the one tribe that got. I'm Puerto Rican and Creole. The one tribe that got swallowed up.
Your father what?
My father Puerto Rican.
So you're Ephraimite. Tribe of Ephraim, the head tribe of the northern kingdom. So that's where you come from, the tribe of Ephraim, and they're part of the 12 sons of Israel, which the whole nation of Israel is going to be the rulers in the kingdom to come when the Messiah.
And look, my father's some like extreme radicalist right now, right? He extreme radicalist on this Catholicism. I'm telling that shit, like, it's not real right. I'm like, nah, the Pope is trying to accept homosexuality, right? And that's not real right. And it says it all the way around that forgiveness stuff doesn't apply to that. They got swallowed up, right, back then and stuff like that. But I say that to tell him, like, I'm like, look, in actuality, what it says at the end, only the 12 tribes are going to be the ones that are going to get saved, not nobody else.
That's right.
I mean, yeah. So
it's a good thing to be a part of it.
listen, I'm familiar with it. That's right. I see. I know other people might look at y'all from the outside and like, what's going on and whatever. I mean, so now, yeah, Christian, Jews, whatever. I guess this falls in between. This falls in between, if that. But if anything, more towards the Old Testament. But I rock with it.
This actually brings up the truth about all the confusion.
I believe I got a female. She's an Israelite or whatever. So then when I had told her that, she was like, nah, yeah, you're definitely like more part towards that. And what I'm like, I do is just that I am involved with what it is, what I'm involved in, things like that. But I see y'all here often. I got a store on Broad right there on 219 Broad Street and whatever. I mean, so I see y'all all the time. And then when I heard that Kyrie stuff from last year, I thought about y'all over here. I'm like, and you know, Kyrie came from Elizabeth St. Pat's and whatever. So I'm like, I don't think that's what he really want to tap into, you know. But I mean, I'll be seeing y'all there, man. Y'all have a blessed day.
All right, take care.
Now, what happened when more and more horrendous events start happening? What are they going to think about? They're going to think about the men that were mourning prior to the catastrophe.
It happened twice. The first person that we see you out out here, and then the scripture say, "The eyes shall see thy future." You know, and this person is going out here. So imagine when shit starts to really hit the fan. That's when they're going to actually going to start to look like Yahweh. But then that's when the Lord will take us off the streets.
And that's why the sign is so important too, because it happens to be that we have the actual wooden plank out here today. That's spiritual, that's prophecy. Because Jake looks at it, it's eye-catching. Anybody that walks by, even the heathen, they see, oh, I ain't doing that shit. I'm gonna stay away. But then Jake is spiritual, it draws you in. It's like fishing, and that's just it's like a storefront. You got the sign on the storefront that catches the eye, and then you see that this is for you. This is for the 12 tribes of Israel. Yeah, exactly.
That's it. Call YAHAWASHI. Because like I you said about somebody said I read the Bible.
Prophecy. There's a prophet right there. He said, and then you ask him about the MUTV, and he'd be like,
He's talking about something completely different. He's not talking about, well, I'm like, maybe I'm a Jew. That's not what we asked you, bro.
You could read the book, but you have to understand it. Like reading the whole book, let's say, even though people be Catholic, let's say somebody did read the whole book from Genesis to Revelation or the Book of Apocalypse. Alright, so what do you understand about what you just read? Do you understand what you just read? Do you understand how it applies, when it applies, when, where?
like the elders gave an example about how you gotta keep digging. And you can't stop reading the scriptures. And that also too, if you don't have the spirit of Yahawashi, you're not gonna get no understanding. It's like Yahawashi gives is like somebody who's digging a well for water. Somebody who has no understanding of Yahawashi, they have no understanding that there's water down there. So they're gonna keep digging. They're not gonna get the water right away. So they're gonna just give up. Like, man, you tell me that you look over here, there's water here. There's no water here. But those who know, yo, I'm digging till I get the water, they're gonna keep digging, keep going down. Next thing you know, you get all the way by, you're like, oh shit, spring, it's coming. Ah, nice. And then you say, okay, I got the water. You know? You got the water because what? You kept digging. Now you're gonna get the rivers of living water, the fountains, you know? But somebody who doesn't know and doesn't have the Yahawashi understanding of digging, they're just gonna dig a little bit and think that, oh, once they said dig the ground, you're gonna get water. So I dig, just scratch surface, nothing. Oh, I give up. Nope. Us, we keep on digging until we get the water. And digging doesn't stop until you get to the water. You see, so that means what? That's what the story continues. You keep on working until food and water. Your Yahawashi himself comes back, and then you say, you're delivered. Now your job is done. Now you can finally say, Lord, it is finished. Here we go, Lord. See?
Romans chapter 11, verse 7. What then? Israel had not obtained that which he seeketh for, but the election hath obtained it, and the rest were blinded.
I guess that he trained them. So whatever the training got.
You got the predestinated, everybody's predestinated. On the right hand or the left hand. You know? Excuse me. I think Paul said, you know, that the Lord separated him from his mother. I'm not saying it. I'm saying it wrong. But there was a time period that you get that enlightenment, that wisdom to know that this is what the truth is, this is the knowledge, this is what we're supposed to be doing. Some people don't, you go your whole life, you don't have to wake up and get that. You know, you don't get that light.
Younger, he was Asher. He said that. He said when he was younger, he just heard the words, but then he said when he got older, that seems like it all makes sense.
Yeah, it all makes sense. Yep, that's what Asher said. You know? But that goes to say, if you say it all makes sense, and you know the Lord may have that little small seed and get bigger, but there's not a lot of time for you just to be like, oh, yeah, I keep doing what y'all do. You know, I agree with it, but now is the time where you better agree with it and then actually start thinking and get into it. You know, make no terror and turn to the Lord. If we have the time there, it's not going to be a lot more time for we're going to out here. I mean, even now, before, we used to only just be out here. Now,
the Lord got us moving around. The Lord got us on the iron for a short amount of time. So we can already see how the Lord is closing the doors of hearing the word. And through censorship, this whole misinformation campaign, it's going to get to a point where you're not going to be able to find it at all. And that's prophecy. So you got to get it while the getting's good.
Alright, cool. So, last precept by me. I know brothers are cold. Job 28 and 12. Job 28 and 12. It says, "But where shall wisdom be found? And where is the place of understanding? Man knoweth not the price thereof, neither is it found in the land of the living." And Job's going into basically, the whole chapter, because brothers keep mentioning digging, and he's going into the lengths that men go to find gems and precious stones on the earth. And yet, but where do you go to find wisdom? Wisdom is of a heavenly origin. You can't find it on earth. It's on earth from the Spirit of the Lord, but it doesn't have an origin on earth. It comes from YAHAWASHI, from the heavens.
And that's what Esau's trying to do. That's why he said you got to accomplish a good circle. He's really trying to find the way to really eternal life. He's trying to find wisdom, really. Wisdom, I believe, wisdom said righteousness faith is righteousness, and it says Abraham's faith is accounted righteousness. And then you get faith through a gift of the Most High, and the Most High gives that gift to the Most High. So it's like a connect. The fear of the Lord is the gift of wisdom. So you can't get it. You can't get wisdom, which ultimately you're going to bring you to immortality unless you start with the Most High. And Esau, and I believe the song says that the Lord is not on in his thoughts at all. So this is it. That's why Peter told Yahawah, where we going to go? You got the words of eternal life. There's no other way possible for eternal life to be given to you unless you go through Yahawah. That's why he says he's the Lord.
That's it. All right. So, hey, beautifully said. And with that, that was edifying to the elect. Closing, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory to
YAHAWASHI, YAHAWASHI,
Next time, to the one.